Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Firstly, Honorable Miss Angliana M. Home, as our lovely lecturer of English academic speaking, honorable audience, and everyone watching, hopefully you are always in a good condition. Okay, I would like to introduce our group. We are from Group 4. The theme is about Global English, and the title is The Implication of Global English for Linguistic Identity. Okay, this is our group member. The first is me, Rizka Faturahma Farhah, and this is my friends, Miss Rini Nuraini, and then Miss Farida, Miss Evelyn Francisca, and then Miss Rusmiatir, and the last is Miss Yaya Siti Yuria. Okay, for the first is introduction. It will be delivered by Miss Farida. Okay, Miss Farida, it's time for you, and enjoy the video.
Thank you, Miss Rizka. Thank you for the time given to me. Okay, I will tell about background of study. Today, we live in globalization era, where interdependence of the world, economies, culture, and population brought about by cross-border of countries around the world. It allows people from different backgrounds to meet and need to communicate are using particular language as a global language. English nowadays is considered as global language. It has special rule that is recognized in every country in the world. To get recognition from each country does not mean that the language should be spoken as the first language by people in the country. The global language can be spoken as the first, second, or foreign language. The prominent characteristic of global language is that it is the most widely used language in communication in most places in the world. In Indonesia, English language is one of foreign languages. It is the most important language if we compare it with the other foreign languages. It has an important role in education and become an accepted international language. For those of us who are not native speakers, speaking English language is not easy because apart from the national language, we also have to be able to speak and understand local language. Therefore, English language is still considered as foreign language. It's different from some countries. English language is primary or an official language. Our hope is, even though we are not native speakers, but we can speak English language as well as native speaker. The most important thing in global English, where we thought other people can understand what we are talking about. This condition creates a global society which leads to the new global identity. Global English refers to how English is spoken by non-native speakers, and it is sometimes called World English, International English, Global Englishes, or World Englishes, besides as a lingua franca or common tongue. Global English doesn't have any specific culture reference. Instead, it's influenced by all the characteristics that English speakers bring from their native. Okay, now, benefit of the study. It is hoped that the result of the study will be beneficial for the reader as well as the writers themselves to have better understanding to it. The implication of global English for linguistic identity. Therefore, in this video, we will show you some peculiarities of English as global language, but the speaker and listener can understand the objective of communication. It probably can damage the quality of language itself or its identity linguistic. Thank you. Furthermore, about outline will deliver to Miss Yaya. Miss Yaya, time for you.
Okay, Miss Farida, thank you. Outline, introduction, main body, research, how English become global English communication, global English or whose language is it anyway? What are the implications of global English for linguistic identity? Method, result, evaluation, conclusion. Main idea. I will tell you the first research is about how English become global English communication. The answer is the ongoing process of globalization have made an impact on the most different aspects of life of contemporary society. In the information society of the globalized world, there is a pressing need for a common language of communication, which would make it possible to overcome interlingual, intercultural barriers standing in the way of integrating nations into a common economic and cultural area. Undoubtedly, due its widespread in the world, English is such language, and English language skill alongside with skill in one's native language become a norm. The English language has turned into widely accepted means of international communication, with the number of speakers of English as second language considerably exceeding the number of native speakers of the English language in this connection. It is appropriate to speak about use in the function of vehicular language to connect people with different language background as the global lingua franca. Okay, for the second and third research will be delivered by Miss Evelyn. Okay, Miss.
Thank you, Miss Yaya, for the explanation. Speaking of global English, whose language is it anyway? Is it belongs to England? As we know, English is used widely as lingua franca for the purposes of commerce and science. English has virtually achieved the status of world language. For those who want to learn the second language, English is often become their first choice. The English language is now spoken in more than 100 countries. Right now, over 1.5 billion people speak English. Of this, quarter of them are the native speaker, quarter use it as their second language, and half of them are using as the media of communication in asking questions or asking direction. The variety of English, there are Hinglish, which is Hindi English, Chinglish, which is Chinese English, Singlish, which is Singaporean English. So, as a conclusion, the language has so little to do with England this day. The implication of global English for linguistic identity, there are some lexical and grammatical peculiarities which probably can damage the quality of the language itself and the linguistic identity. There are tendency to drop the S ending of a verb, as in I think, she think. It's supposed to be I think, she thinks. And the interchangeability of pronoun, who and which. The second one is the phonetic peculiarities and the substitution of the TH sound, as in think, it pronounced as think and think. Grammatical error in song, in conditional sentences, subject-verb agreement, and also pronoun. The example of conditional sentences for the Justin Bieber song titled Boyfriend, it is said or it is written as if I was your boyfriend. It's supposed to be if I were your boyfriend. The second one is the subject-verb agreement. The example of the song of Rihanna's title Work. It states that you see me, I be work, work, work. It should be I will be working or I will be at my work. The third one is the pronoun. The example of Lady Gaga's song titled Bad Romance. It is written you and me. It's supposed to be you and I. So, as a conclusion, it is really important that every one of us understanding the English is used for the media of communication. For the method and result, we will give the time to Miss Mia.
Thank you, Miss Evelyn. Now, about the project method. The method that we use in this project is qualitative research. The steps are, the first one is identifying the problems that are related to the project. The second one is classifying the information that we have. The third one is interpreting all the information that we gathered. The fourth one is describing the situation. And the fifth one is making a conclusion. Also, we involve collecting and analyzing non-numerical data such as video, audio, and text to understand opinions, concepts, and experiences. Besides that, we do the literature review from the ebook, journal, and website. The results of this research that we can come up with is that English as a global language, English as a lingua franca. Therefore, it doesn't have any specific cultural reference. Instead, it is influenced by all the characteristics that the English speaker bring up from their native language. Basically, the aim of speaking or communicating is understanding between the listener and the speaker, so that the grammar and accent is not really matter, as long as the listener and the speaker, they can understand each other well. As for instance, if you mostly interact with non-native English speaker or native English speaker in your home country, then you are perfectly speaking global English. Then you will hear people are importing the grammar structure or vocabulary choices from their native languages. And then you will also find out that their accent will influence their pronunciation. We emphasize the accent doesn't really matter when you communicate in English. The quality of your English, in fact, doesn't depend on your origin accent. This situation shows that the new global identity has risen up. Okay, now we go to the evaluation part. Please welcome Miss Rini.
Thank you, Miss Mia. Okay, I will continue. And it's about the evaluation. Number 1. English used in the function of global language to connect people with different language backgrounds as the global lingua franca or EGLF. In this connection, the English language has turned into a widely accepted means of international, with the number of speakers of English as a second language considerably exceeding the number of native speakers of English language. Number 2. English as global language, giving a big influence to image cultural globalization on ethnocultural identities. In these conditions, create global culture as components of a new global identity. And number 3, teaching English as the global language must be culturally neutral. English, when is taught as the language of cultural communication, must not be confused with major national standards of English to avoid the effects of cultural domination. It's allowed to be adjusted to the cultural identities of Miss learners. Okay, for the last is conclusion will presented by Miss Rizka. Okay, for Miss Rizka, this is your time.
Okay, thank you, Miss Rini, for this occasion. Dear audience, this is the last part before the references. Is about the conclusion. Thanks for being listening from the introduction until the evaluation. Okay, let's move to the conclusion. English as a global lingua franca emerged a new variety of English language. It would make English teaching to move away from its almost exclusive focus on native varieties of English, and then giving the well-established sociolinguistic fact that language are shaped by their user, and that nowadays native speakers are in a minority for English language use. Next, creation of global society in this condition of globalization leads to the formation of a global culture and creation of a new global identity. To shape the language user to become a part of the multiple identity of a multilingual and multicultural person. So this condition will allow native speakers of English have lost their ownership. Besides, we are as Indonesian, although you are Sundanese or Japanese or maybe from another origins, you may speak English by your accents or own dialect because the aim of communication is the understanding between the speakers and also the listener. And as the closing statement, would you like to speak English as a native speaker of special origin or country? Remember, your English is personal. Okay, let's move to the references. We use some books for this research. The first is this book, The Practice of English Language Teaching by Jeremy Harmer. And the second is about linguistic, The Study of Language and Introduction by Gerd Juhl. And the last book is A History of English Language by N.F. Black. And also we use some ebooks and journal, and then from the internet also we can see here. So dear audience, thanks for watching our video and listening it from the first until the last. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and also comment. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.